Hello everyone, we are back with Haspoiroid, and we're playing Kit again. Kit seems to be around an awful lot. So before we get into it, we are both proxying cards. I have Project Ares, which I actually must fill them in on that. And which is next wave 2, which allows you to do brain damage when you score. It's 4-2 agenda, so like for like, but different effects obviously. They are playing Egret, which is a program, 2 cost, and you can install it on a piece of ice, and then it gains Sentry, Code Gate, and Barrier. So yeah, interesting times ahead. Opening hand is not brilliant. 2 agendas, which are fine. Next ice is nice to see early, but I would like economy, and I would like not these agendas. So I think we mulligan. You may do 1 brain damage when scored. When I score it, that is 4-2 like Ares. This hand is better, so we can install, we can pop this down, and then we can get a piece of ice down as well. And we draw our Project Ares. Oh yeah, oops. So it is conditional. Having next ice raised. So unfortunately, because things aren't implemented on Jinteki.net just yet, you have to give up what the game is. So they know we want to do brain damage. They know we're playing next ice. Kind of ruins the surprise. But what can you do? So we're going to use this to install Architect's always good in R&D. And now we're good to go. So they're going to Magnum Opus up. Playing the long game. They do have a bit of time. We need to get this piece of next ice down and something in front of it. Code Gate would obviously be better, but we'll see. Now it is dependent on what they're playing as their Code Gate breaker as well, possibly. Draw, and suppose we could use this to install this, which seems good. Might as well get as much money as we can as early as possible. So there we go, we're making good use of the Engineer in the Future ability. And very, very soon we must push for this agenda, because it'd be nice to get it scored. Cipher, because every deck could use Cipher. Now we do play Z 2.0. It is a Bioroid, of course. It is 2 clicks to break 2 subroutines. It is trash, a piece of hardware for both the top 2 subs, and then it's do a brain damage, I believe, for the last. I must actually look that up if it comes to pass. This is great, so we can install this, advance once. I think that's what we do. And the question is, will they push for it? If they don't, if they don't go for it, we have to wait, which is risky. If they do go for it, we're in a much better position. They could, of course, get SMC and clone chip down as well, which would be more problematic. But I think this is worth a go. So this is the perfect ice structure for Kit, because our Code Gate's on the outside. They could put Egret down on next silver, for example, and be able to walk through that as well. So hopefully it doesn't come to that. Atman comes down. That's going to be Atman at 0. And unfortunately, I think we might have to push ahead and just score this. I would see, if we leave it too long, they get their Code Gate breaker down, they get Atman at 0, and then they're good to go. Then again, we could put this down on R&D, that's good protection. I think we leave it. They might think this is a trap. So draw, we can install this on R&D. Good place for it, and we can hedge fund. 3 friends in high places seems excessive in this matchup. And I mean, it's going to get us good stuff with the advanced assembly lines, but not necessary right now. So they're moneying up hard. And unfortunately, all we can do really is bide our time. Hopefully they don't go to vamp us. That is one thing we got to worry about. HQ is looking a little dicey at the moment. So defective brain chips would work if we could get a next piece of ice scored, but we can't. Or resed, I should say. So instead we'll just score this manually and score it normally and do nothing at all with it. Which is unfortunate, but we do play pieces of ice that do brain damage. We also play Marcus Baddie. It's very much based on a deck that the Metropole grid was playing a while back, the Zombie ETF. But trying out this new agenda just to see how it works. Obviously, so far, bit underwhelming. It's a 4-2 that did nothing. And that is the problem with conditional scores. Study guide. And now they run. So we'll res this anyway. Just to get it resed in case of the next wave too. Unfortunately, we will need to beef things up a little bit because this can now be broken pretty easily. And then next silver becomes better, but Atman will make short work of it. Thankfully, they're not going to see anything of note. Defective brain chips, it's not all that surprising. We already gave up the ghost that we were playing brain damage based deck. But we won't be doing something like Cerebral Overwriter. This is very much just based off our ice and off our agendas. Vitruvius is okay, but they have the money to get through all of this, so we may have to wait a moment. Draw. Things are getting worse. I think we put the beta test in here and just take a credit. If we can get it scored, it's great. We're probably not going to fire it because we do play a lot of operations and upgrades, things like that. Not an excessive amount of ice. Certainly not enough to do it blind. And this kind of comes back to the mind games of they know they can get in here and we know they can. So would we install an agenda? This would be pretty easy to get through overall. No, they are coming for it. Okay, well, not much we can do here. So they will have to pay to boost. They'll have to pay for Cipher and Atman, but all the money in the world. It's going to make it much more challenging to get out. We do have 2 biotic labours as well, so that's an alternative way out for us. But taxing them could be a challenge. Oops, no action. Sure, we'll res the next silver. So if they want, they can Cipher Atman here. They do have the hand size all ready to support the Cipher play. It's only going to cost them 4 to get these out, and then 3 to break. So a little expensive, but not all that taxing when you got Magnum Opus and everything as well. If only we had Snare. Things are getting worse. Okay, let's draw. That's money. And we could get back out these 2. Costs us 2. We'll gain... Yeah, it seems okay. We'll gain money. Put one in server 3. Put the other in a new remote. And we'll leave it at that. It's nice, but it's not as good as it could be. But the Friends does help against Parasite and things like that as well, which is important when you're playing next ice. Sadly, we do not play Lotus Field in this deck, so our ice is very much cipherable. So we'll res this, and I'll let them trash. And if they want to come for this, I'm okay with that as well. We'll res for the 2 credits, obviously, but aside from that, not much more to be done with our fistful of agendas and friends. Ooh, the Maker's Eye. I like it. So this has cost some 4, and this cost some 2 because of Atman. And unfortunately, Study Guide becomes just better and better as time goes on as well. And no snares in the deck. Really regretting that now. Let's res the Architect. And unfortunately, Cipher making every piece of ice redundant. So now we just have to get lucky. Okay, it's not as bad as it could have been. If we can get a biotic, we can get this out and maybe fire it. Alrighty then. Maybe. Yeah, I think. Sure, look, it could get worse, so we might as well try this. And we have things resed, so let's actually res this as well, giving us a little extra money. Now, they saw some of R&D, so let's go for it. Oh, that worked out beautifully. So, we want something, then Z. Okay, where do we want things? We could put a ton of things on the scoring server. That seems okay, and then we can start just firing things in. We want Z to be second, so that it's not a code gate. Yes, I think that works. Architect's going to be 2 either way, so it doesn't matter. So let's put this on server 3. Let's put this on server 3. I think, because we can stick good things in there. And let's put this on R&D. So that worked out well. Now, we can get Vitruvius in next turn. I don't think they can contest. Unfortunately, it will be a waste of the advanced assembly lines. You'd prefer to use it to install something? At least now. So Beth is going to do not much for them for a little while. We are just finding agendas, which means we are going to have to... Let's draw one. Alright, let's just take a money and install Vitruvius. 3. We'll copy and paste. So I have to go find the piece of ice. There is the text of Z 2.0. So you can spend 2 clicks. To break up to 2 subs. And then it's trash one hardware, and if you've spent at least 1 click to break a subroutine during the run, do 2 brain damage. So you'd prefer a piece of Bioroid in front of it, but if they do use the clicks on Z, it also fires. So let's stick the Vitruvius into server 3. Trashing the advanced assembly lines, so kind of a boring way to use it. But we can score this out, and then we just have to slam the beta test in there as well, I think. So next silver is going to waste study guide, really. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Z 2.0 will have to be Atman, which means they will have to find an answer to next silver as well. More than likely Inti. But again, that's going to be another 4 credits, so not great. Perfect. So we'll score this out and then work on scoring the last, which could be a challenge. And let's get rid of defective brain chips, I think. Yeah. So unfortunately our brain damage deck is going to do 0 brain damage. Not quite what we had in mind. So if they run HQ, they have a good chance of scoring. We can do the click and friends in high places again to get back our advanced assembly lines. Hopefully we'll find some more actual installable stuff. But if nothing else, we can get that out, get the money up, and slam a beta test in there. If we money up it significantly enough and get them to spend a lot of money going in for the beta test, we can probably go for the food the next turn. Depending on what their answer is to the various pieces of next dice. But Magnum Opus makes it very difficult to tax anything. So, we can actually put Victor on the outside. I think we have to just money up here and get our advanced assembly lines. One of which is going to be super safe. And now, if we want to install up here, it's going to be expensive, but it might be worth doing. Because again, it will require them to find a solution to the next silvers. They're coming for HQ. So it's a good shout. Going to cost them 4, but seems decent. 2 and 5 shot to win, or to snag an agenda. Just see your friends. So they may not even go trash the advanced assembly lines. So much money. They haven't drawn much of their deck. So you'd have to imagine that they could have an SMC in hand. They could also have their barrier breaker. Fairchild. That's kind of irrelevant. So let's res this. Let's trash this one to install this on server 3. And take 3. It's kind of tempting to neural them. What are the chances of hitting something really good? I think we just take money. Ultimately, we want to put a beta test in here, be able to res this, and be able to advance as well. So we do need the money we have. And now they're drawing up. So maybe we should have just pushed. It's finding that last window that's going to be a challenge. But then again, if we can find biotic labor, we can just win. So that's worth considering as well. We do have one more in 21 cards. Not great odds there. And there's the SMC. So, we got to respect Clot. But most importantly, they can come through here. It's going to cost them a lot. But ultimately, they can go through. So 4, 8, regardless. Film critic goes 1 extra credit. Z is going to be problematic, actually. So presumably admin for this and an actual barrier breaker. Okay, I think we don't use this. We actually just install Jackson in server 3 and take money. Hopefully we get them to come. So we're building up money, which is a bit dangerous. We need to stay at a reasonable level. Don't want to give them 5 clicks for sure. It doesn't look like they play indexing. Kit tends not to, so Maker's Eye is the worry. And if they go for it, I think we shuffle. It's 3 more agendas still. And we don't want to lose, but we would prefer them to spend a lot of time and money coming here. Then we can shuffle back our biotic labor. And money cards, or these, actually, these are good as well. Because we need to keep that element of surprise. We need to just keep jamming things in here. Not allowing them to go for the Maker's Eye. Trying to keep them off HQ, which is poorly protected. But when you can gain 6 and then go for a run, I don't see how we stop them from just pillaging here. So they are coming for it. And now let's see how much they spend. So it's going to be 2 credits, which we lose out on. But then we have to see what they're going to use for next silver and for Z. Presumably Atman on Z. Which is disappointing. Then again, they could just lose Cipher if they really wanted to. Oh, another Atman. Okay. Atman at 1. So that's pretty good. If they really wanted to, they could just sacrifice Zed or sacrifice Cipher and you walk through it then. Sentry, right? So study guide getting more and more powerful, but ultimately won't really matter. And then another 4 for this. No worries. So after all of that, they find Jackson resting at the bottom. And I need to do a count as to how much that all cost them. So send back biotic. Suppose advanced assembly lines and advanced... Oh, misclick. Oh well. So this costs them 4, 5, 8. They didn't need to spend 8 actually. 12, 14. They can make things a little cheaper though. So we can, if we really want to try and rip open a scoring window, we can put in a Vitruvius, which they have to go for, and then I don't think they have enough to get in to get the beta test, but it does depend on how they treat Zed. So let's give it a shot. We could neural if we're fearful of something like StimHack. I think we're okay. Part of me wants to stick Fairchild up there as well, paying the install costs, so we don't do that. We could get the advanced assembly lines out there. We have to pay the install cost still, which will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then res it. So I think we just take money. And we're ready to use biotic if it comes out. So we're giving them 1 credit. Ooh, legwork. Nice. So that's well timed. But we did put one agenda in there, so we've done all we can do really. Now we just have to hope they don't hit both. Fairchild, good news. Okay, well, we got lucky there. And they get the food. Okay, so they got one. They can't afford to get in here. They can afford to run again, but I doubt they will. So you could take brain damage. You could trash everything. I think Maker's Eye? No. Okay. Well, we got lucky. Legwork could have done the business there. Very fortunate to pull that out. Adonis. Hey, good to show up. Like, literally the last thing they could have done for us, but yeah. So we seal it out. GG. Unlucky on legwork. One more agenda in there. And we did a whopping 0 brain damage. So, that was a bit underwhelming, but hope you enjoyed it anyway. Thank you very much for watching.